have to do. With application, you have to do something else. If you're talking to them on a motion picture screen, it's still another kind of delivery. On a TV screen, another kind. And as I've recently been discovering, on a computer screen, still another type of delivery and other choices to be made about how you're communicating, what it is you want to communicate, and what means you have at your disposal. So I'm working with video in a lot of different areas which support live performance, which treat people to attend live performance, which exist educationally online, and which also educationally are kind of building an international hub of performers finding one another and sharing a lot of information between generations, I would say. So I'm going to share with you work on a few different projects today. As you mentioned, the YouTube Symphony Project was an idea that connected many of these things. It basically was put out a call to people, get them to audition, experience their audition online, select them, and then prepare them to come to Carnegie Hall, give a 3-day high-test series of performances, high-energy performances, and then make videos of that to be posted back on YouTube. So you see this idea of shifting in scale of video is essential to that. And this is part of the initial call that went out to people around the world. It's a Symphony Summit Conference in Carnegie Hall, New York. And who's it about? It's about you. You could be part of it, but you've got to audition.
Participating is easy.
Go to the Prepare tab, download the sheet music, grab your instrument, and rehearse your part. Record yourself playing, and then submit that video to YouTube.
Join us in creating the world's first collaborative online orchestra.
And one of the ways this
What's more?
And one of the ways this was done by, when the people were selected, then there was the question of getting them up to speed, because we were just going to be together for 2 days of rehearsal. So we did a whole series of tutorials where I introduced them to great professional players from around the world who then kind of said, this is the tempo, this is the kind of stroke, this is basically what you should be going for in the way you prepare yourself. Go ahead. I asked Sasha to just give us a little bit of an insight into the feeling and the kind of stroke that we need for this Villa Lobos Extraordinary Bachianas Brasileiras, which has to have great intensity and great Brazilian swing, and also somehow the sound of a Bach solo sonata. So that's the feeling. This is the actual show. And the whole production of the live show was enhanced by incredible videos done by Obscura, and that was tremendous fun to work with their team to develop pieces to basically create environments within which the music would be played.
What's more beautiful than the sweet sounds of orchestra music in New York's famous Carnegie Hall? Full resolution, immersive, angelic projections dancing across Carnegie Hall's unique architecture as YouTube's symphony orchestra plays below. YouTube turned to Obscura to create an unforgettable media experience. To accompany YouTube and conductor Michael Tilson Thomas's first ever orchestra derived from auditions from all over the world, posted on YouTube. Working closely with YouTube and Thomas to enhance the musical intricacies of the program, Obscura's world-class media team created video reflecting on the time period and origin of select pieces.
So you get the idea of what that was like. Another project in video that I'm working with is San Francisco Symphony's Keeping Score project, which is essentially videos designed for broadcast and also for DVD, which give the backstory of great pieces of classical music, stories from hundreds of years ago, as well as the backstory of the artists who are now devoting their lives to playing those pieces. And this is a little segment which is about work of the pioneering American composer Charles Ives.
Ives divides the orchestra into many different groups. The brass are playing Columbia, but everybody else is playing something completely different. And inside of the wild noise, they're playing things like this. And this. And how about this? And craziest of all, and when it's all played together with the brass, it makes what we call a sensory overload, what Ives would have called the whole shebang.
And this also exists, all these films exist also as a highly developed website. For example, if you go to this Ives website, you can actually perform yourself online the kinds of experiments in different rhythms and different keys and different sounds, the same experiments that Ives and his father performed that led to Ives developing his way of thinking. And similar with Beethoven and Shostakovich and others. Then on another front, in Florida, I'm working with an academy that I started 23 years ago called the New World Symphony, which is developing new perspectives of performing art online. And we are right now only a few months away from the opening of a new building designed for us by Frank Geary, and I've worked closely with him to develop a space which I'm calling a music meeting house, a large block-sized building which contains a number of different performing spaces. Each one of those spaces in the atrium that you see are actual working performing spaces. So the audience can come in and make a selection in the course of the evening of what it wants to see, moving from place to place. This is all very intensely wired. Here you're seeing a model of performance taking place inside one of these rooms, which you can see from the outside. And then this is going to, you can see this projected on this enormous screen, which is about, it's the whole quarter of the building, the screen outside. Then you'll see the kind of light sculpture aspect of it. You can show the next slide. So that's the architecture you're seeing in the atrium of all these performing spaces. This big black space to the side of which you can only see part. Behind that is the major performing room, which you can show us. This is all equipped for video projection, 360 video projection, both front and rear projection. It's intensely linked up also with Internet 2, where we're doing a lot of live concert experiences, educationally and otherwise. And next slide. We can have enormous capability of projection. This is just a mock-up one. You can do a lot more subtle than this. Finally, the room, you'll see this is the performing space, the big one to the right, the atrium containing a number of different smaller performing spaces, and then these are all offices and practice rooms. This is a working school, actually. Go on. And you see the performing room itself is modular, so we can have an audience completely surrounding the players, as in the upper left-hand corner. We can take seats out and create sort of a mosh pit type thing in front of the stage. You can walk around this whole thing, so you can come in and out during some of the performances that we're in. Next slide. And here's the whole perspective of the building. The big building in the center, our building, and then this big park that faces it. And on that screen, the sort of right-hand side of the building in the upper right, that is a wall-sized screen. People will be able to be in the park and watch the performances from out there. Or we're also commissioning major video artists to do pieces for that screen. And finally, that's another view from an audience's perspective, but you see the size of what that screen is. And finally, this is a mock-up now of the atrium under construction. Those are those spaces that are being developed inside of there. And then to the right, this is an actual test of the broadcast system at night. So I think you get the idea. And that's what I'm up to.